What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to take a Windows 10 machine, install it, and join that to our domain. So let's get into the video and have some fun. Remember, please like, subscribe, and share, and let's keep growing the channel. Thank you. Alright folks, so here we are on the desktop. So what we're going to be doing is installing Windows 10, joining this to our domain, following the other videos, and that's pretty much it. Then we're going to conclude the video by testing connectivity between all devices, and that's pretty much our lab completion. And obviously from there you can build on top of that if you want to add more clients, if you want to add blue team tools, whatever you want to do, but this is the main core of a Active Directory lab. So what we're going to do, I have my Windows 10 image here. We can do Windows 11 or Windows 10, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do Windows 10. So obviously it's the same kind of process, right? So we're going to go ahead and go up to File, go up to New Virtual Machine, and then you have the wizard, right? We can do typical, hit Next, and then the ISO image, we're going to go ahead and browse out to our image, which is right here, Windows 10, hit Open, and go ahead and hit Next. And for the product key, we don't need anything there. You can just hit Next. Yes, you can, don't show me this. Do you want to continue? Yes, we do. And I'm just going to put Windows 10. That's fine for me. And I'm going to put it in the virtual machines directory. You can just browse out to wherever you want to put your VMDKs or your virtual machine files and go ahead and hit Next. 60 gigs is fine for me. This is going to be split virtual disks into multiple files. What does that mean? It's not going to take the whole 60 gigs. It's just going to utilize what it needs. All right, so let's go ahead and hit Next here. And before I hit finish, I want to go ahead and customize a few things here. I want to go ahead and add I want to add 8 gigs. That should be fine for me. So, and on my disk drive, I have my image for the network. I want to use NAT, and I think that should be it. So let's go ahead and hit close there. Finished. And I'm not going to go ahead and power it on because sometimes I'll add a floppy drive and I want to get rid of that. So I want to throw this up here into our lab files, which is YouTube Hacking Lab 2024. So you see how it has the floppy drive right here. I want to go ahead and click on that and remove it because we do not need a floppy drive. We don't even need a sound drive, but I want to leave sound there. That should be fine. All right, let's go ahead and hit OK and click on power up this virtual machine. So once we power it up, we can click inside of it and then hit enter when it says boot to CD. And if you want to get out of it, you do on the left hand side of your keyboard, Control Alt, and then now you can get your mouse back. And I want to come down here and X out of that. Okay, so let's give this a moment. I want to go ahead and make this full screen. And now we have this language to install. English is my language. And I'm going to go ahead and hit install now. And then we'll give this a few moments. It's pretty much the same exact way to install Windows Server. Obviously, there's just a few differences. When you install a Windows Server, you have Windows Server features. When you install a client, which is like Windows 11, Windows 10, you have those settings. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on I accept. Go ahead and click on custom, the second option, and go ahead and click on next. We're going to give this a few moments to cook, and once this is done, we'll resume and we'll continue the process. All right, folks, so once that is done, the VM will reboot, and it'll take about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, depending on how much allocation of the resources that you allocated, and then you should come to this screen. So in my case, we are in the United States, so I'm going to go ahead and click on yes here. And we'll give this a moment, just like it says. And then the keyboard layout, just US is fine for me. And I'm just going to go ahead and skip this. I don't want to add a second keyboard. And we'll give this a moment. And hopefully once this is all done, we'll do a net discover on our Kali box. And we'll make sure every single VM in our hacking lab is reachable. And then we can say happy hacking and have fun. The reason why I made these VMs and this little project, because I did this in B-Sides Tampa and Hack SpaceCon, and a lot of people ran out of time. So I'm just making this little series for those folks and whoever wants to set up a home Active Directory hacking lab using Active Directory, Kali Linux, Windows environments, and even a Metasploitable machine, so you can leverage those Linux exploits as well. Yeah. So now we can go ahead, once we get to this sign into Microsoft, go ahead and join to a domain instead. And I'm just going to put Pat as my username, and my password. I want to go ahead and put my password. Make sure I put it right. Okay. And I want to confirm it. Okay, so here I'll just put, I just put Bob across the board. I never really pay attention to these. And go ahead and put Bob. We'll put whatever you want. If you want to answer them, go ahead, and that's up to you. So I want to go ahead and turn all of these bad boys off. And we don't need any people following us or anything like that. So Cortana, not now. That's fine for me. Thank you, but no thanks. And this will go ahead and get this all set up. You should give this a moment, and once this is done, we should be able to log in. We'll create a new computer name, and then we'll join it to our domain. So while this is cooking, let's go ahead and check our domain, make sure it's all up and running. And my domain is, so let's go ahead and do Control-Delete on our domain controller. And we are on the YouTube domain. I don't know why this keeps doing this, but let's go ahead and make this bigger. Maybe for the resolution, let's go ahead and put, no, let's revert that. Let's just go ahead and put 200 is fine. 175 because I have a wide screen, so that's fine for me for now. And we're at 192.168.100.138 on our domain. Everything is off. We have even our firewall. Yeah, we can set up a group policy that turns this off, but you know what? Let's do that. We're going to go ahead and do that just for shits and giggles. So this is a little bonus. I wasn't thinking about this, but let me go ahead and create a quick group policy. So if you guys aren't familiar with group policies, I have a whole Windows Server playlist you can check out. And let's go see what's cooking with this Windows 10 machine. All right, so let's just finish this, and then we'll set that up before we join this to the domain. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me see. I don't think Windows VMware tools are installed yet. So let's go ahead and go to right-click on the VM, or you can do it multiple ways, but I right-click on the VM. Go ahead and click on Install Virtual Machine, or Install Virtual VM Tools. Okay. Let me just go ahead and turn the sound down. All right, so let's go ahead and click on that. Let's run the executable for VMware Tools. Yes, please. And we'll give this a moment. And the reason why you want your VMware Tools is so you can have a bigger screen and the VM runs smoother than if you didn't have it. So go ahead and hit install next. You can just do the whole complete shebang. Hit next, install. And we'll give this a moment. Once this is done, we don't have to reboot quite yet. What I'm going to do is change my computer name to whatever you want to change it to. And I also want to change my my time and my time zone. So let this finish for a second. And we don't have to do that yet. And let's go ahead and change my display settings so you folks can see. That should be fine. All right, so with that being said, I want to go ahead and change adjust my time zone, because it says I'm in Pacific time zone and I'm in Eastern time. Now it's 8:30 p.m. Cool, that's good. All right, so last thing I'm going to do is I want to right click and go to System, rename my PC, and I'm just going to put Win10-VM. Okay, and hit next. This is just for me. You can name it whatever you'd like. And once this joins to the domain, we can go ahead and see that, that computer name is joined. So we'll restart that. And just for my lab, if, this is just a bonus. And what we can do is go to group policy right here. And on my InfoSec or YouTube.local, we can create a new group policy. And we can just put disable Windows Defender. Okay. And this is going to go ahead and go right to the top level of the domain. So we can go ahead and right click on that, hit edit. And let's see if I remember. It's going to be a computer preference, actually policies, administrative templates, or is it Windows? Sometimes I'll have to tinker with this because I don't do this every single day. So I think it's an administrative templates, Windows components. I could have Googled this, but this is on the fly. I didn't realize I was going to do this. So if you come all the way down, it's right here. Windows, it used to be Windows Defender or Windows something, I don't remember, but Microsoft Defender. So now you can see right here in the middle, turn off. So let's double click on this, enable this, and let's come down a little bit more. And I don't want to make this full screen, but you can I want to bring this back over here, enable it, hit apply, hit OK. So that's going to go ahead and enable disabling it, turning it off. Okay. So once that's done, we can right click and enforce it. And that's going to go ahead and enforce that policy for any computer that joins to my domain. Okay. And then we're going to test that out shortly. So let's go ahead and come back to Tools, Active Directory users and computers. And we don't have any computers here now. So let's go ahead and change that. So let's go back to our Windows 10 machine. We rebooted. Let me log back in with my crazy fancy password. So now we're in. So what we're going to do is join it to our youtube.local domain. And this is whatever domain you created. This is how you join a computer, right? And you could do it through the command prompt as well, but we're going to do it the easier way. So we're going to let's go back to system. On the right hand side here, we have advanced system settings. And you have system properties. When you go to system properties, you have computer name and you have work group. And to rename the computer or change it to a domain, click on change and member of, put domain, and then put your domain. Like in my case, it's youtube.local. And this is good. It's not good, but it's good. It says gives us a troubleshooting step. So, all right, let's go ahead with this again. So it's pretty much telling us, let's look at details. It's saying the following error, it's not able to hit DNS, or the SVR record. So this is real world stuff. So what we need to do is correct that. So let's go ahead and open up a Windows command shell. And let me go ahead and do an IP config. So my IP address is 192.168.100.140. So if I do an NS lookup, I'm looking at my DNS server that it's looking for is right here, .2. And is that my DNS server? No, right? It's 138, I believe. So let's hit exit here, clear, CLS, and let's do an IP config /all, okay? And you can see primary DNS server is .2. So we have to correct that. So let's come back to our DNS server, which is our Active Directory. Let's come over to Tools. Let's go to DNS, DC1 VM, forward lookup zones, and youtube.local. And this is 138, as you can see right here, right? So we have to point our Windows 10 machine to our domain controller in order for it to know where to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and right click on the little network, open network and information, whatever it is. What is it? Let me see. Let me make sure I say it right. Open network and internet settings. Okay, so here we have advanced network settings, change adapter options, and let's go ahead and click on ETH0. Okay, so if we hit details, my IP is 140, DNS is wrong. Right? It's not wrong, but it's wrong in our case. So we can go to properties, IPv4, and we can just point this to our domain. So let me go ahead and do that. So 192.168.100.138. And then I can just do Google for now. Okay? So let's go ahead and validate that. So 138. And if I know what I'm doing, I like to say that because sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. And now let's go ahead and hit IP all, and we can see now our DNS servers are there. Moment of truth. If I hit OK right here, we should get a prompt. And there we go, right? So we can go to administrator and the fancy password that we used. And now it says, welcome to the YouTube domain. So I like to have those little errors in the videos because if I could have cut that out and just edited everything, it's not a learning curve, right? I like to be raw. So let's go ahead and hit OK. OK, close, and we're going to reboot. Once that reboots, let's go ahead and come back to our Windows server. And now if I refresh this, we should see another DNS record right here. Boom, we are good there. And now if we go to Active Directory, we refresh this, and now we have a Windows 10 machine. I probably did like 16,000 of these videos, but maybe those are old videos for you guys and you guys want to see this in, I don't know, updated fashion. I don't know. All right, so that's that. So we have our, now let me go to my my Kali Linux machine, right? So let me, if config, so I'm at 136, right? So if we do, technically, if we do a net discover, if we don't know what net discover is, okay. Net discover, so you have to do it -H. So what is net discover? This is pretty much doing an active and passive ARP reconnaissance tool. So it's going to send out ARP on the network that whatever range you want to do it. In my case, it's 192.168.100, right? So we can do a -I for the device, which is ETH0, and then the range of 192.168.100/0/24. So how does that look, right? So if we go like this and we do -I, ETH0, okay, and then -R for 192, whoops, crap. Let's try that again, -I, ETH0, okay, and let me make sure my numlock is on, and then -R for range 192.168.100.0/24. If I hit enter, now this is going to go out and scan that one subnet. And we got 138, 140, and 254. So let's see, this one, let's make sure they're all coming up. Let me do an IP config here just to make sure. This is 138, which is my domain controller. And this one was, let me go to other user. I'm just going to log in as the administrator. So I'm going to do YouTube/administrator. Okay, we'll let that cook. And I believe that was that. We can cheat. Let's just go into our DNS. Oh, did I close it out? I guess I did. So let me go ahead and reopen DNS. Was it 140? I think it was 140. Yep, 140. So let's go back to our Kali. We can see 140 here. So we see 140 and 138, which is in our network, right? So that's pretty much it. You know, now we have all three machines. And let me actually turn on this machine so you can see the full effect. Let's power this bad boy on. And this is the Metasploitable. So we have, that's fine, whatever. So we have Kali Linux, we have Metasploitable 2, we have Windows Server 2022, and we have a Windows 10 box. So we have a client, a server, our attack machine, and another vulnerable Linux machine. So now we'll let that cook and we'll run this again and see what the IP address is for Metasploitable to make sure all of those are in, you know, in the ARP table, right? So we'll let this cook for a minute. Shouldn't take long, okay? So now that's up and running. Let's just run this again. And we have 138, 140, and let's see what that one is. 137. So 137 is the winner for Metasploitable 2. So that's pretty much it, right? So let me go ahead and come back to my face. So that's it, folks. Hopefully you guys found this playlist informative for you guys. If you guys just caught it on this one, check out the other videos that are in this playlist so you can learn how to set up a small little hacking lab all by yourself in your home environment. So hopefully it's been informative for you guys. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. Happy hacking and keep going. Thank you.